Sheriff Gary Schutte and Under Sheriff Tony Stewart. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Bart.
Thanks for having us, Bart.
Yeah, I think this is the first time, Tony, that you've been on the show since you were appointed Under Sheriff.
That's correct.
Congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
But you've been on the department for a long time, right?
Yes, just about 5 years.
Yeah. So you had to go through some extra training to become Under Sheriff?
Absolutely. I was hired as the jail captain, the jail administrator, because the predominant of my experience has been in corrections field. So I had to go to the police academy. And after 18 weeks of the police academy, I graduated, had a modified FTO, and then after FTO on November 10th, I was appointed Under Sheriff by Sheriff Schutte.
Nice. Why did you pick Tony to be your Under Sheriff?
Well, you meet Tony, you know relatively quickly just how smart of a guy he is. And he has a very commanding presence. He has the respect of everyone down at the police department. And frankly, all of law enforcement in our community has deep respect for Tony. So it was really a no-brainer. The huge hurdle was the whole police academy bit. Tony's not as young as the people that we normally send through the police academy. And, you know, when I approached him about it, there was just no way. The law demands that the undersheriff have MCOL certification, so you have to go through it. But when I approached Tony about it, just like I would have expected, he was all for it.
And I understand, because I've known you for a while, and you used to be a little heavier than you are now.
Yes, sir.
So did you lose weight at Police Academy?
Absolutely, about 40 pounds.
No.
Yes, sir.
Wow.
A lot of PT.
Well, I mean, that's great for you. What a great personal transformation for you at the same time.
Absolutely.
How long does Police Academy last?
18 weeks.
40 pounds in 18 weeks. You could sell your diet plan.
Yeah, I was on.
There you go.
Yeah. I was on a strict. I was meal prepping. I was on a real strict diet of what I was eating: high protein, low carb, and then just a lot of PT.
Mm-hmm. How many pull-ups and push-ups can you do?
Oh, I can do probably about 65 push-ups and probably about 15 pull-ups.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I bet you schooled the youngsters at Police Academy.
It was interesting. I think I surprised some of them. But there were some there were some young cadets that were in really good shape.
Awesome. Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
Well, this week you guys put out a press release on a new high-tech piece of equipment that you just put into operation, the Tech 84 body scanner. What does that do for you?
Yes. Well, in short, it provides us with a lot of safety issues that we have been lacking in. And it really picks up the jail from, you know, early 70s, is kind of where we were operating at, right into the 2000s. So really pleased with it. Essentially what it does, Bart, is when new arrestees come in, it exposes them to a very low level of radiation for an x-ray and examines their entire body to determine whether or not they have any hidden contraband on them.
Is it a thing that looks like at the airport?
Very similar to that. In fact, it's the same technology used in the airport scanners, but it's just you step in and then you step out instead of walking through like you do with the airport. Mm-hmm. And whether or not you hold your hands above your head in the airport, we don't do anything of that nature. Obviously, most of our people are handcuffed when they go through it. So it becomes an issue sometimes about positioning of where the handcuffs are at and stuff.
Do you have any metal on you? Well, just these handcuffs.
Just those, yeah. Exactly. But it's been huge. You know, we had it in place for 2 days, and we already were able to seize almost 7 grams. It was 7 grams?
Yes, sir.
7 grams of meth and cocaine.
Well, I was looking at the news release that you sent out earlier. The first person, a female, 1.8 grams of methamphetamine and 2.4 grams of cocaine. And it's such a small amount. I mean, together, that's less than 1/10 of an ounce, I believe.
Right.
So, I mean, it wouldn't fit on your fingertip,
Yeah,
right?
right.
So that's pretty powerful piece of equipment you have.
It is, and that amount that you're talking about right there could easily overdose 2 or 3 people, and we could be in a situation where we're taking people to the hospital, performing rescue CPR, and all sorts of things are going crazy inside of the office when that happens.
And that's happened before.
Yes, in fact, we had 1 death last year as a
And
result.
I know people say, "Well, how do they get the drugs in?" But this explain. I mean, it was a body cavity, normally not used for conveyance of drugs,
Right.
but without a scanner, I mean, it'd be impossible to detect that kind of thing on someone.
Yeah, that's correct. And not only do they put it in body cavities like that to smuggle it in, but they'll also be wrapped in cellophane or maybe even a balloon, and they'll swallow it, and it'll be in their stomach, and you'll never see that stuff. So, like, we can only do a strip search on people if they're brought in for a felony, or if we have probable cause to believe they may have drugs on them. So that could be any number of different things that cause us to maybe think that somebody's got something on them. But the body scanner can be used on everyone.
So that's surprising because the very next day, you had someone already in custody and you got a tip, right? And that person had the same drugs, meth and cocaine, strapped to their thigh. So at first I thought, well, don't you know, hey, take your pants off. I want to see. You don't do that.
Well, just to understand, Bart, technically it was on their thigh, but it was high in their groin. So it's what a good technique is if you have it in your thigh, but stick it in that crevice between your thigh and your groin area. It's very difficult to catch. And it was a very small amount, but very powerful inside of a facility.
Well, this must be great for the jail deputies in intake that they don't have to do uncomfortable searches because of the scanner, right? And
well, technically they're still going to do the strip search, but it gives them that probable cause that the sheriff was talking about.
Okay.
So think about it this way. We have several individuals that are arrested that aren't charged with a felony, and we don't have articulable probable cause to do a strip search, but they also may have dangerous narcotics on them. If they come through our body scanner and we detect a foreign object or something that appears to be a foreign object, and just so you understand, there's a significant training that goes with this. That's why when we first installed it, we couldn't roll it out. We had to get our staff trained because on this device, it may look like a small bubble. Well, that's that foreign object. So that gives us probable cause then to take them and strip them. And then that's when we actually discover what the foreign object is.
so the only thing I didn't understand was someone gets arrested, are they thinking, oh, I better strap some drugs to my groin in case I get arrested?
It's interesting that you said that because when we interviewed her, and I just got to say, Deputy Davis and Deputy Compton did the yeoman's job on interviewing her. And when they interviewed her afterwards, she actually said that. She said, well, 9 times out of 10, I may be able to sneak it in, and I'd risk it.
Wow.
And the night after that, we had someone who had a broken crack pipe in a body cavity, and it was a male. And same thing, when we interviewed him after getting the contraband, it was, well, I figured I could get it in.
Wow. So I believe crack pipes are made out of glass?
Yes, sir.
Well, let that be a lesson to you. They're going to get you. You've got a 5-year plan that you've been working on, and where do you see the sheriff department going over the next 5 years? What are you looking for in the plan?
So there's a few things that are really important. I mean, there's a lot to the 5-year plan, obviously, because it encompasses 5 years, right? But
are you in the plan all the way through 5 years?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah. But obviously, technological upgrades are critically important. So we're looking at upgrading our Axon contract. Axon is the company that does our body cameras, that does our in-car cameras, that also does our tasers, things of that nature. they've really kind of spiraled upward in the technological realm in law enforcement. And a couple of things that they're doing now is they're assisting with AI report writing from your body camera. And so the way that that works is if I have my body camera on and I go and I talk with you about a complaint, that's a parking complaint. Now let's make it a little bit more juicy. Let's say it's a larceny. A bicycle was stolen from your yard or something of that nature. And I'm talking to you a little bit about it and you provide me all of the information. By the time, in a nutshell, by the time the police officer gets back to his car, his report's already been written. And it contains all the relevant data that was extrapolated from the interview. It contains specific accounts of time. It tells about what time you interviewed the person, on what date, where you were at. All that information is contained in there. So it's very, very specific, and it's really well done. There's safeguards inside to make sure that the deputy or the officer is reviewing that information. So for instance, in the example that I observed as we were going through this process and learning about it, was they inserted a line inside of it that said, the cat slept on the couch. So obviously that had nothing to do with what was going on in the complaint, but it forces the deputy or the officer to read through the paragraph and find those things to make sure that they're deleted out. And of course the program won't accept it if some of those catched phrases are still contained within the narrative. So it still requires the deputy to go over it, and it's written with precision on everything that's going on. Some of the technology involved in that is really mind-boggling. For instance, if Tony and I were both investigating your complaint,
which you wouldn't investigate me because I've done nothing wrong.
Totally hypothetical. Totally hypothetical. But if we happen to, and I asked you a few questions, forgot to ask you a couple things, and I said, hey Tony, would you mind going asking Bart one more thing? The AI is able to pick up on your voice recognition and your facial recognition to know that he's speaking with the same person that I was speaking with to contain it within the interview. Absolutely fascinating stuff, and I think it'll be a huge time saver for the deputies that are out there working. They're writing tons of reports. You know, I think last year somewhere in the neighborhood of 30,000 reports. You're talking an hour, best guess, an hour during an 8-hour shift is spent just writing reports. We're working 12-hour shifts. We're probably looking at an hour and a half that they're off the road. And of course, you know some of the challenges that we have with reduced staff and funding challenges and things of that nature. This is a force multiplier for us. Being able to get this kind of stuff and have that in play puts the deputies back on the street and allows them to do their job. Makes it a lot easier and better for them.
All right, there you go. Some examples of technology helping the community and the sheriff department. Appreciate you guys coming in today.
Thanks for having us, Bart.
Thank you so much for having us.
Stay safe. The sheriff, Gary Schutte, and under sheriff, Tony Stewart. Up next.